going to ask Benny to answer this first one. Hollywood Dreamer 89. What's your advice on living with autism?
Right, so how I dealt with living with autism is by telling my friends and family. You have to be very careful who you tell though, but also don't be afraid to tell anyone. Because when I told my friends and family, I got the best support that I needed. And it got me to where I am now.
Kira_Begs asks, why are we taught to not judge a book by its cover, but its cover, in reality, is all we really do judge? Okay, well that's a good question, because I think for most people generally, we do judge things by its cover. I think we live in a society where we have a certain bunch of rules that we measure people up against. If they're successful, if they're fit body, if they're in fashion or not. We all know that the best covers on Netflix aren't always the best movies, right? And sometimes not the most flattering graphic design covers, don't give the movie justice for what it really is. Our next question comes from Lockie Brennan. How do you get out of a slump? Great question. A slump can be defined as you're hitting a wall. You had a lot of energy for something, a lot of motivation, but now it's just disappeared. I think the first thing we need to do, that we all can do, is move our bodies physiologically. So often we're sitting down on chairs and we're on screens and we're not moving. In our evolutionary background, we were designed to move and hunt and gather and to run and to sweat, and we don't do that anymore. So if you're in a slump, get exercising. Secondly, get focused on your vision and your goals again. What results do you want? I want you to focus on what your goals are. Then I want you to focus on what your plan is to get it. Then I want you to focus on what actions you're going to take to get it. Nikita NIMH asks, why do you think marriages these days don't last as long as older generations? Well, the statistics do suggest that marriages are separating a lot more than others. In 1961, divorce was 2%. Now it's 53, 52%, and it's pretty huge. Now, when I say the word marriage, what do you think of? When I say the word commitment, what do you think of? When I say the word trust and long-term relationship, what do you think of? Exactly. There's a picture that comes in all our minds of a movie or an example that we've seen through our childhood of what those words actually mean. And I think a big part of marriage shifting in our culture is the examples that we're seeing and being fed through our upbringing. Because when I say the word love, someone might think of lust, and they might say it's love. When I say the word love, do you know what I think of? I think of marriage. And I see marriage as two people together that commit the whole life together, work out anything that happens, and the back door is locked. There's no option to get out. Everyone's got to try to sort it out no matter what, death to us part. But I think these days, it's like, well, anything goes. Near enough is good enough. There are some actions that are inexcusable and they can't be worked through. I think there are some cases for that. But most times, I don't know if people still see marriage as death to us part. We're going to try at least work through this. No matter what, we're going to fight for this thing. How many people fight for their marriage, fight for their relationships, fight for the right thing? The constitutional thing of marriage is to try and create a safe environment and stable environment for children to grow up in, where two people will be stable together and committed together. Because we know that when people separate all the time, there's disorder. When there's disorder, there's chaos, and there's anxiety and there's stress. So that's what my thoughts are on that. Nico767 asks, Mortal Kombat or Donkey Kong? Which is the best game of all time? I'll have to say that Mortal Kombat is a very good game, but I think Donkey Kong is the greatest game ever made. Next. This will be the last question for this first round of Q&A. Zoe_192 says, why do we try so hard to impress people whose opinions won't make a difference to our lives? Why are people so afraid to be told the truth? Because deep down, it reveals a very big insecure part of all of us, that we are afraid to not be liked. We're afraid to be hated. That we believe the lie in society that happiness is all that matters. And happiness requires everyone to not be in conflict and to be in agreement together. Happiness requires us to not be on bad terms, but not to have a bad reputation, and not to have any disagreements and disappointments. So therefore, I don't want to say anything too much in public to people about what I truly think, because that might bring unhappiness to me, which is those things, the opposite of those things I mentioned. I think in this video, just in this short little segment, happiness is the lie. Happiness, most people define happiness as just feeling good. So if that's the case, then of course we're going to try and impress people we don't like. Of course it's going to make sense that people who really don't deserve respect, are gonna matter more than they should to you. My question to you is this, people: does everyone's opinion and voice matter the same? Are they all educated? Are they all about your best interest? Are they about the common good for all people? No, so we need to test everything. I honestly believe the more we test life, the more quality we get from life. So thanks a lot for actually watching the first Q&A video from your questions alone on Instagram, and let's tune in again for next week so I get through the rest of the questions. This has been a lot of fun. See ya! Wow!